Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a small but mighty little piece of history, the humble 1-cent coin. It might seem like just pocket change, but believe me, there's a lot more to this tiny coin than meets the eye. From its fascinating history to its surprising worth in the world of collectors, we're going to explore it all. So, let's take a closer look at the coin that, in many ways, represents both the beginning and the end of currency. Ready? Let's go. First, let's start with where it all began. The story of the 1-cent coin dates back to the very birth of the United States itself. After the country gained independence in the late 1700s, the U.S. government needed a unified currency system. In 1792, the Coinage Act was passed, which created the U.S. Mint and set the stage for the production of various coins, including the penny. Interestingly, the first 1-cent coin, known as the Liberty Cap cent, was issued in 1793. This coin was quite different from the modern penny, with a design featuring Lady Liberty wearing a cap on the obverse and a wreath on the reverse. The coin was made of copper and was a significant symbol of the new nation's identity. As time passed, the design of the 1-cent coin evolved. In 1856, the U.S. Mint introduced the Flying Eagle cent, a short-lived but notable design that represented the country's expansion. Then, in 1859, we saw the creation of the iconic Indian head cent, which lasted until 1909 and is still beloved by collectors to this day. But perhaps the most iconic penny in American history came in 1909. That's when the Lincoln cent was introduced to celebrate President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The Lincoln penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, remains in circulation even today, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Fast forward to today, and the design has remained largely unchanged. The Lincoln portrait on the obverse, with the Capitol building on the reverse, is still the face of the 1-cent coin we know today. Now, let's talk about the real value of this little guy. The 1-cent coin may not be worth much in terms of purchasing power, but its composition has changed a lot over the years. Originally, the penny was made of pure copper. But due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint began to mix the copper with other metals. By 1982, the penny's composition was altered to primarily zinc, with just a thin copper coating. This change was driven by rising costs. After all, copper wasn't cheap back in the 80s. Nowadays, pennies are composed of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. So while a penny may not be able to buy you much today, it still carries some interesting material value. But here's the kicker: the actual cost of producing a 1-cent coin is much higher than its face value. In fact, it costs the U.S. government approximately 1.76 cents to produce just one penny. This means that for every penny made, the government actually loses money. You might think that sounds like a waste, but the penny is still being produced for the sake of tradition and practicality in currency. But hold up, here's where things get really interesting. The true worth of the 1-cent coin isn't just about its composition or face value. Let's talk about its massive circulation. You might be surprised to learn that pennies are still being minted in the billions every year. As of recent estimates, there are over 150 billion pennies in circulation in the United States alone. That's right, 150 billion. And when you start adding up all those pennies, it amounts to more than $1.5 billion worth of 1-cent coins just floating around out there. That's an insane amount of pennies. But here's the real kicker. While the penny may seem almost useless in daily transactions, it plays a vital role in the U.S. economy. Small businesses, banks, and vending machines all rely on pennies for accurate change. So, what's next for the penny? Well, in recent years, there has been growing debate about whether or not to continue minting the 1-cent coin. Many people argue that it's time to retire the penny, especially given the rising costs of production and its diminishing purchasing power. In fact, Canada eliminated the penny back in 2013, citing the same reasons for high production costs and limited utility. But in the U.S., the penny remains a part of our currency system, despite the challenges. There are still many who defend the penny's continued existence, whether due to tradition, nostalgia, or the fact that it still plays an important role in rounding prices for cash transactions. And let's not forget, the 1-cent coin also holds significant value in the world of collectors. Some pennies, especially rare ones, can be worth far more than their face value. For example, the 1943 copper penny, made during World War II, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars today. Talk about a hidden treasure! So, there you have it, the fascinating history, surprising value, and ongoing importance of the 1-cent coin. Whether it's sitting in your pocket or rolling around in a jar, that little penny carries with it centuries of history, and believe it or not, it's still making an impact today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1-cent coin, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos about the hidden stories behind everyday things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.